After a very intense pre-season here at Dortmund, we start Season 3. Champions League football awaits, but before all of that, the small matter of the Supercup and a rather difficult start to the season. And that is because, as well as the game against Werder Bremen today in the Supercup, we are going to be taking on a familiar foe in Union Berlin. We play them on the 21st of August. We do have Cologne in the meantime, which, whilst I mean no disrespect to them, aren't nearly as interesting to play. Beyond that, next month, Leipzig, Bayern, back-to-back. Yeah, to start this season, if we just look at the season preview, we're playing a few of the big teams right up there amongst us towards the top of the table. So a good start today. It's all the more important. Transfers have been done. The squad's been strengthened. Let's see if it all comes together in the first matches of the season. Yes, folks, how is it going? Welcome back to episode number 18 of Rebuilding Dortmund. I feel like at this point the club is rebuilt of sorts, but that said, this year I want to have a really good Champions League campaign and, of course, defend our Bundesliga title. We need to prove it wasn't a fluke last year and that we can indeed do it whilst juggling a lot more football this year. Of course, if you watched last episode, you know what happened in the transfer window. The starting 11, at least to start the year, is not going to change, but on the bench we have the likes of Satoshi Orata, who, let's be honest, I've paid £60 million for. So he is going to have to start some games this year. Not this one, though. Alongside him, though, players like Wirtz, Andreas Schelderup, coming back from injury, probably not fit for today's game. The kind of player who may well find himself in first team contention. Beyond that, we have Nelson Viper as well. We have a collection of players here who I feel like are going to gel, and if we hit the ground running, can step up for us. And I suppose our first game of the season is going to be a test of our current squad. Werder Bremen's media prediction this year is 14th. That said, they won the DFB Pokal. Some might say they fluked it. I'll give them the credit they deserve. As a result of that, they have European football as well. Their key man, if you're wondering, is Dominik Yankov, who is a good player, but compared to the players in our squad, I feel like we should be beating them convincingly. So unfortunately for us, Schelderup did fail his fitness test going into today's game. I'm going to keep Duranville on the bench as a result. Of course, the DFL-Supercup, it's not a competition the board necessarily care about that much, but silverware is silverware. And I want to win silverware, especially if I don't have to beat Bayern Munich to do it. This might be the one competition where they can't ruin my day. So in terms of team news, I already mentioned it. Starting 11 for the season remains unchanged, of course. Nonto rejected a £100 million bid for him in the end. Gruder, well, he rejected a contract offer from Leipzig of £80 million. We still have a month left of the transfer window. More stuff could happen on that front, but we're just going to remain focused and hope that when it comes to their performances, they pick up where they left off last year. Okay, team submit for this game. Let's see how we get on. Werder Bremen rocking a 4-4-2. I feel like a 4-4-2 this year in Football Manager is a strong formation, but I feel like if you know how to exploit the gaps in it, if you know how to find the space and work it, dare I say, you can get some really good results. Of course, with our current upgrades to the squad, this is the kind of game where if we don't find a breakthrough, if we can't find a goal, I have players I can bring in to make that difference. But I'm going to hope that the players we have here can just make the difference, and well, Gruder should have made the difference there. His shot hits the post and goes wide. Bullet with the ball, laying it back to Omabamidele, laid across to Arian B, working the ball out from the back. So far, so good. We've looked pretty dangerous in the opening stages of this game. Already rocked the woodwork once, dominating the play, and I suppose that is evident in this highlight here. There is just a confidence and swagger that we are able to knock the ball around with, it feels like, with our current system, and then suddenly we pull a pass like that to Adriano, who crosses it in. Adamu scores. If this is onside, it's a goal of the season contender. It's a Di Canio-esque kind of volley. VAR is going to check it, and VAR is going to deny a beautiful goal. I think it must have been Adriano who was offside here. Arian B's ball, by the way, here, stupendous. Unfortunately, as is evident from this replay, yeah, Adriano did go early. Free kick for Gruder, our set-piece specialist. Nearly sold him. Now he's got to prove his worth. Now he's got to prove that I wasn't a fool to, well, I was going to say not sell him for £80 million. I wanted to sell him for £80 million. I suppose that he can make me a fool by making me look like I was willing to accept that kind of money. Bullet puts in a good little tackle. To be fair to Werder Bremen, they have actually had a couple of opportunities statistically in this game. We're yet to see them in highlights, but maybe that will change here. Demirovic, dispossessed ball though, falls. well, very fortuitously back to the Werder Bremen player there. Fortunately for us, Jovic between the sticks makes the all-important stop. And well, from that, I'm going to hope we can score a corner. Ball back post, Arian B under it is cleared away, but only as far as Kameri. Now Becker with it at left back. In the summer, featured regularly for the German national team, as did Bullet. Our players have come back with international experience. It should make them ready to make the step up at this level. This should be simple against a Werder Bremen team tipped to be down towards the bottom of the table. But we've not found the breakthrough yet. That could change here. Adamu drifting wide. Options in the middle. Nonto's one of them. Takes it down, but just can't get the shot away. Pulls it back to Kameri. He does get a shot away, sadly. Lots of traffic to try and thread it through, and the shot was blocked. Pressure is mounting, though. 15 minutes left of this half. We look lively, but without really creating, well, that golden goal-scoring opportunity. A couple of half chances, but not the kind that you are annoyed when you miss in Football Manager. You know, like the Gruder shot that hit the post, I would never really expected it to go in from where he was. It's a pleasant surprise if that kind of shot goes in. Do you know what I mean? In Football Manager, there's the goal highlights. The highlights where if they're not a goal, you're annoyed by them not being a goal. We've not had those yet. Maybe that's going to change here. Heinz heads it away. Yankov for them. I identified him as their star man, but played down his quality. Be very on brand now if he was to, well, make an attack happen. Bolde at left back. Plays it forward. And Tenkpeti, I hope I've said his name correctly. That is a banging volley to make it 1-0. Not exactly what I wanted to see in this game here. Bolde at left back. The number 18, loads of space. He pulled it back, but this finish here, stupid. Volley. Yeah, Jovic isn't stopping that, is he? Okay, I'm going to make a change in this game before half-time, and the change I'm going to make might be a bit of a weird one, or you might look at it and go, that makes sense. I am going to make Adriano play as a shadow striker. We're playing against a 4-4-2. The defensive midfielder for us doesn't really have a man to mark. It's not like they have a number 10 we need to be wary of who sat just in front of our defence. And with that in mind, I feel like we can put a bit of pressure on them, try and put Adriano between their deep line playmaker and centre mid and centre backs, and maybe that can now help us just create a little bit more. If that was my intention, not really played out after the change was made at half-time. Going to tell the players they've been terrible. Few players on poor ratings so far in this game. There is a temptation to tear it all up going into the second half. Going to give these players the first 10 minutes to turn it around. They've had 5 minutes of it. Nothing's happened. They've got 2 minutes to make something happen, and now are making changes. Heads will roll, or rather, players will rotate. Gruder is going to come off. I'm going to bring in Bino Gittins out on the right-hand side. I'm going to bring in Wirtz in the middle, and out on the left-hand side, you know what? I'm going to bring in Giovanni Reina, who was sensational to end the year, and Viper is going to go up front. In the Bundesliga last year, we scored in every single match during the season. If we don't score in this game here, I'm going to be annoyed because teams haven't been able to shut us down in the past. We've added more quality in the final third, and the fact that I can just change the front 4 players and feel like we're not really lowering the quality too much is a testament to that. How is this new look front 4 going to do? We're going to find out here as Wirtz is threaded through. I think Viper's offside here. I don't think Wirtz is offside. I guess the question is Viper interfering with play? VAR is going to consult VAR. And is it going to be disallowed? It's going to be disallowed. Yeah, I don't think Wirtz was offside. I think Viper was offside. Yeah, I mean, Viper is... Did he interfere? I think he left it. I'm going to launch a formal complaint or something. Okay, this game has been far from ideal. That said, still plenty of time to turn it around. And that disallowed goal, it gives me hope that the players I brought on are capable of creating stuff. Now they just need to do it without being offside. Kameri, Wirtz, Viper, Bino Gittins against Anning, our former man at left back for them. Already on a booking, having a torrid day. Would love to see Viper score on his first team appearance. That said, maybe I should be worried about our defence. Jovic, well, he's made a save there without moving. I'm not going to question the Football Manager animations. Fantastic stop. Okay, free kick. Giovanni Reina, you were the saviour at so many points last year. Can you be the saviour here? Keeper saves it, falls to Viper. He makes another save. What is that goalkeeping? I mean, it's sensational. And with that, the chance is just going to get away from us. We looked really, really good there to score, and yet 2 opportunities wasted. Maybe another chance here, or maybe not. Reina shoots, blocked, goes over. Okay, I mean, we still got the corner. Giovanni Reina, he looked good from the free kick. He forced the save out the keeper. Can he provide something here? The answer's no. I've just noticed their defensive... Look at this. What is this ratty stuff? They've gone to a 5 at the back with a defensive mid. It's like they know how the rest of this game is going to play out. Right, Kameri, you can go forward, and Killy, deep line playmaker on defend. We're going attacking here. We're going adventurous. We need to make something happen in this game. And I feel like this is the way to make it happen, to throw men forward, to throw caution to the wind, tell the wing-backs to get forward. Let's get rid of this fancy passing out from the back nonsense. We're going direct. Okay, 10 minutes left. Tactical changes made. The dice have been rolled, and yet nothing is happening. I'll shout demand more and hope it makes a difference. But with 4 minutes of added time, Season 3 is about to get off to the worst possible start. We've lost the Super Cup. And now I have to be worried about the fact that our opening games of the season, as I've already identified, are difficult. If we don't beat Union Berlin, if we don't beat Leipzig, and we don't beat Bayern Munich, if those 3 games in the first 5 of the league are, well, we don't get points from them, winning the league looks really difficult. Because last year we had to be absolutely sensational to beat Bayern Munich. And from what I've seen there, in this game here, I mean, we don't look sensational. Confetti falls, I'm livid. Yeah, I'm fuming. Viper makes return to German football. I mean, I didn't know. Did he make a return? All he did in that game was be offside for a goal that should have counted. I am fuming. I don't know how we've not won that game, if I'm being honest. We dominated the XG, had more possession, had 18 shots to their 10. I mean, Tech Petit with a sensational finish. The man's got 11 finishing and 11 long shots, and he banged it into the top corner like we just saw. I'm fine. Okay, look, I need to take a chill pill, but the good news for us is our next game is a little way away. 3 weeks until we take on Union Berlin, a cup game against 1860 Munich that we should absolutely win. They're playing in the 3rd tier of Germany. We followed that up with a game against Cologne, whose media prediction is 15th. We absolutely should be beating them, so hopefully I'll be in slightly higher spirits with some slightly more informed players for the next game. We're taking on an Union Berlin team who are going to be dreaming of Champions League football. Let's try and crush those dreams early on in the season. This is without a doubt the game that every time the seasons come around, I'm going to look forward to playing. We are taking on Union Berlin away from home. Of course, the team that once upon a time in this universe, I managed. I was there at Union Berlin. I took them to 3rd in the Bundesliga. Last year, without me, they finished 7th. The year before, without me, they finished 5th. This year, they need to bounce back. And in their opening game of the season, they lost against Hertha Berlin 3-1. We really should be beating them today. As for ourselves, 2 games played since that opening game of the season in the DFL-Supercup, which we're not going to dwell on too much. First and foremost, a win against 1860 Munich, team in the league below us. Was it convincing? Absolutely not. Viper got 2 goals, which was good. We had to come back from behind in this game, and whilst they did play a very rotated team, it's still a team that should have been capable of beating the team in the 3rd tier more convincingly. But we're not going to dwell on it. We got a win there. And perhaps most importantly, in our opening game of the league season at home against Cologne, we won 2-0. 2 goals in quick succession in the first half secured this result. Nonto with the first, Adriano with another goal to add to his growing collection of senior goals. This time, Adamu was dispossessed, but we kept the ball alive. Gruder pulled it across, and that finish was rather tasty. Naturally, we are only 1 game into the league season, but if you're wondering how the table looks, Bayern Munich have played 2-1 to Leipzig, unbeaten in their first 2. Just a reminder, that is the doubleheader we're doing next episode. I'm already not looking forward to it. Now, of course, the transfer window is technically still open. There's still a week of it left. I've not signed anyone new, but I have made a sale since we were last here. In fact, has the sale been confirmed yet? It's not showing in the transfers out. Is that because he was in my B team? I think it is. The man we've sold from our B team is this guy here, Marius Mayer. Yeah, a bit weird because he was playing for our B team, doesn't show up in the transfers out. I've got £8.5 million for him. He's a player with loads of potential, but his current ability is really, really lacking. And to be honest, he's just not developed. And at the end of the day, £8.5 million, a sell-on clause if he does develop. I feel like we can't really be mad about that. I mean, this guy's 20. He's never an £8.5 million player as far as I'm concerned. In fact, I can confirm here by going to the Borussia Dortmund second team transfers out. He shows up here. £8.5 million received for him. You can see a few other youngsters that we let go over the course of the last year. We had a rather bloated team. One player maybe of some note, Cole Campbell, plays for Dortmund, I believe, in real life. Good player, not a great player though. $500,000 for him. Was it $500,000? $250,000 for him? It's money at the end of the day. Anyway, some really good news for us today is that Andreas is ready and raring to go today. There is a temptation to drop Gruder and play Andreas, but Gruder did get an assist in the opening game of the season. He did also receive a bid from Wolfsburg but it wasn't a very good bid. So I have turned it down, but there is still interest in him. Will he still be here by next episode? I imagine he will be at this point, but if a big offer came in, I would be tempted, knowing that if I did want to jig things around, Andreas could play out on the left, Nonto could play on the right, and then Gruder could be, well, no longer here. I am just wondering, given the fact I am weighing up the possibility of selling Gruder for this game here, given the fact it's one of the few games we have before the transfer window slams shut in a week or two's time, is it worth just seeing how we get on without him in the starting 11? You know what? I think it is worth trying it. Why not drop our best player for this game against Union Berlin? What could go wrong? The rest of the team, by the way, does remain unchanged. We're going to submit the 11 away from home, Union Berlin. We should be winning this game. We need to win this game. Looking at this Union Berlin team, you can see they've got Wiedrego, Nemecha, Kraus and Scott. The rest of the players in their starting 11 there, I do not recognise. They have moved on since I was there. I'm going to remind them of what they're missing out on by hopefully winning this game here. They are playing a three at the back. They are playing two defensive mids and wing backs. It's my least favourite formation to play against in Football Manager. And they have got some quite good attackers. We're going to need some moments of magic today. Maybe Andreas can have a debut to remember, the number 19 on the near side. Speaking of which, a goal here would be good, wouldn't it? Kameri whipping it in. Adamu hits the crossbar, back to goal. Can't get a shot away, sadly. And Union Berlin clear it away. It's not been a classic, this game so far. Last season, when we took on Union Berlin early on in the season, there was goals everywhere, mostly in our favour. That hasn't really happened here. We're rapidly approaching half-time. Each side has had one shot on target. But it could change now, because Ramon's got a free kick. He's going to head it. It hits the crossbar. It goes over. We're let off the hook. Okay, half-time in this game here, it is 0-0. Union Berlin had a lot of quantity of shots as that half went on versus ourselves, but fortunately for us, still not really able to test our goalkeeper. Right now, Kameri's on a 7.5. Everyone else has played very mehly, I think it's fair to say. Given their absence of a centre attacking mid, I'm very tempted to change the team in the same way we did previously. I'm going to move Adriano forward, moving Killy into the midfield. I'm actually going to play him as a deep line playmaker on defend, and then play Adriano as a shadow striker on attack. Not going to change anything else just yet, because I don't think we've been bad in this game necessarily. Against this kind of defensive shape, I know it's going to be tough to break Union Berlin down. I'm going to hope that as the game goes on, as the home team, they might commit men further up the field. I feel like there's a temptation in this kind of game to throw men forward, but actually, with how they're set up, it might just leave us susceptible to the counter-attack. I think patience... Well, I was going to say patience is the order of the day. It might not be the order of the day. Lucas Nemecha makes it 1-0 Union. I want to claim we've been the big bad wolf today. We've tried to huff and puff and blow their house down, but the reality is we've barely inhaled. We've not done anything on the attack. We've not really tested them. And now we find ourselves a goal down. Okay, at this point, I do need to change things. I am going to make a similar tactical change to what we did previously in terms of shape and player position. That said, I'm going to make one minor little difference, I think, to what we did before. I'm going to move to play with three strikers. I'm going to play Adriano as an advanced playmaker on attack, and I'm going to go with a front three. I'm going to go with Nonto, Adamu, and then I'm bringing in Viper as well, who's going to play in the middle as a target forward. If you watched Park to Prem earlier on this year, this front three roles should look vaguely familiar. Should I be more concerned about the gaps in the middle? Maybe you know what, Adriano, you go there. I'll be slightly sensible. Okay, Viper's on for us. Thinking about it, probably should make some more personnel changes. I'm going to bring in Giovanni Reina, I think, for Adriano here, who's on a 6.3. Elsewhere, Andreas hasn't had the greatest of games yet, but I'm going to show some blind faith in him. Gruder, I'm very tempted to bring on for Nonto, because, I say that, actually, Adamu's been poor. Gruder on for Adamu. On the left-hand side, on his left foot. We're mixing things up today. Like last season, towards the crunch end of things, I did some rash tactical changes and they worked out. No plan, just vibes. That's what I'm going with here. I'm going to hope the history repeats itself. I'm going to prove that it wasn't just a broken clock being wrong, or rather right, twice a day. Instead, it was pure tactical finesse. Alex Scott makes it 2-0. Alex Scott. Suddenly the games against Bayern and Leipzig next episode feel rather important, don't they? I mean, what do you say? Away from home, this is a tricky game. That said, we have been carved open. It wasn't like we had a shortage of players back. No one's tracked Alex Scott, and he scored. I mean, 5 minutes left to try and make something happen here. I suppose can just bring on more attackers, can't I? And Killy, off you come. Bino Gittins playing as a winger. What is this mess I'm playing with now? I know some people are sat there scratching their heads. Genuinely, some of the most mental formations like this work in Football Manager. I appreciate today's not been a testament to that. Okay, one last roll of the dice. Got to throw more players forward. We have 4 minutes to make something happen. It's not going to happen. We have not had a very good start to the season this episode. I mean, the XG story, until they scored, I feel like the game was going our way. And maybe I panicked and made changes too soon. But the reality is, with their defensive shape, it was always going to be tough to break them down. And I suppose that shows on the scoreline. Statistically, it was a relatively even game. Sadly, football matches are not won or lost on statistics. And like I already mentioned, this now really puts an emphasis on the next couple of games for us. Those games against Bayern, Leipzig are going to be massive. And of course, before too long, we're going to have the European football draw. Yeah, European football to contend with in and amongst all this is going to make things tricky. I'll tell you what, Alex Scott's bloody good in Football Manager, isn't he? He was a bloody good player that I signed for them. One of my first signings at Union Berlin. Still tearing it up. Yeah, annoyed at how good he was there. Right, folks, I mean, let's be real. That was pretty disastrous by all accounts. Almost as disastrous as my hair today. I need to get a haircut this week. It's a mess. It can't be tamed. I don't know why I'm confessing to this. I'm mentally a mess. I'm going to go away, have a breakdown, eat a yogurt. Tomorrow, big matches coming up. If we lose the next two, this season might be a write-off 2 months in, which isn't really what I want to be saying, but it's the reality of where we're at. As always, if you have enjoyed today's video, drop a like on it as always. If you enjoy my suffering especially. Good episode if you're one of those sick, messed up people. We'll be back again tomorrow with more Rebuilding Dortmund action. I'll see you guys next time. Take things easy. It's me, Jack. Chat to you in a bit. I'm out.